Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to take a look at North Technologies by DexSoft. So this is a 3D environment. It's a full office building inside and out. You're looking at the outside of it right now, of course. The package provides all the individual prefabs, and it also provides the full environment which we're now looking at. So that gives you a jump start on your game if you're trying to have an office setting for your game. So the only thing I added is I added a first-person controller to the camera because there wasn't one. I don't think that would really impact anyone's decision because your game is already going to have some kind of controller, first person or third person. So I don't think you really need this to have one. You can just add yours. It took me maybe 5 or 10 minutes to manually do one for the keys, the keyboard. So I'm just going to run this, and I will point out the one thing that I noticed, but there doesn't seem to be any missing textures. Performance seems to be pretty good. I'm not exactly on a high-end PC, and the animation, well, I shouldn't say the animation, the frame rate is pretty solid. So let's just go through this. I am using OBS, so this might get a little bit grainy. So keep in mind that's OBS and not the it's not the actual system. You might have seen a little pop up there. I'll point it out when we get closer to another one. I'm not sure exactly what causes that. I'm not sure if that's level of detail or if there's something else going on. I haven't reached out to the publisher about it yet. It could actually just be a project setting as well. I've seen certain visual anomalies and basically I had to change some project settings so that there was nothing actually wrong with the package itself. But as you can see that there is this common theme. You've got walls that are glass, doors that are glass. Of course, the windows are glass too, but even like the desktops are glass. And you'll see that there's only, I think, like two types of desks. It might even be just one, but basically, this drawer, you see them like switch sides. I don't see one here. I'm not going to walk back that way, but sometimes the drawers will be here and sometimes the drawers will be there. But as you can see, this would be a great start for an office. There's certain things you'd want to do, like you would want to scrub the logo. From what I can tell, the logo is a texture, and so you would just change that texture. I'm not sure if they all share the same ones. Like clearly this one looks different than that one. So you would have to go into the individual assets to see if it's just one logo all over the place or if it's multiple and you would change those because clearly you wouldn't want it to say North Technologies, you want it to say whatever the name of your evil corporation is. There's like a little kitchenette in here, so you've got like soda machines, and looks like a coffee machine and some cups. And again, everything looks really nice. The columns, the trees, you've got light sources and shadows. We'll just quickly walk through here. But yeah, I had purchased this like a month and a half ago. This is a fairly new package. It was originally released like in mid-January of this year. So as of the time of the recording, it is only it's only about, like I said, like 6 weeks old. But yeah, so basically this week is when I finally returned to office. So it's been almost 2 years and I finally returned to office. So I figured that we could just take a walk through here and I'd chit chat about that a little bit. I realize that most people have probably long since returned to the office. Obviously, people who are like in the service industry, healthcare, they've really gotten us through this. So I am very fortunate that I was able to work from home for so long. I think some of the big companies the big tech companies are still holding out. I think some of them are like trying to bring everyone back for April, but the banks were bringing people back months ago. How to get that extra 5% productivity out of people. Anyway, so when we get to the top of the stairs, you're going to see that pop up. And I think what it is, because I've looked at it a few times, I think it's the wall fighting with the floor. So what's going to happen is right now I believe the floor is covering the wall, but as we get closer, you'll see the wall pop out. So it's possible you might be able to stop that just by shrinking the verticality, like shrink the probably the y-axis, but I can't be certain. Whatever the vertical axis on this is, ready? So if you're going to watch it, it's going to be right down here. There. See how it popped? So basically, it looks like the vertical wall is longer now. So I think that's what's going on. I think that the wall is popping in front of it because you can see how this looks lower and this looks like it's pushed in. But when I get closer, pop. You can actually see, it's hard to see, but you can see, since this is translucent, even though there's a reflection as well, you can see that under it. So that's what's going on. So it might be as simple as just changing the size of these. Again, changing whatever that's the X, Y, or Z. I'd have to click on the actual asset to know. But honestly, that's the only anomaly. I'm not seeing any missing textures. That's unfortunately way more common than you would think. Um, I'm not seeing any other issues. And this got some nice variety, some like light pink lighting up here, light blue up here. That'd be a nice way to remind people which level you're on. You could do different different colors of lighting. Each level has different lighting. So one's blue, one's green, one's yellow, one's red. But other than that pop in, that's really the only anomaly. I think everything else looks great. You got shadows up there. Yeah, so that's basically North Technologies. I don't think it goes any higher. We'll just do a quick walk around here, but as you're going to start seeing repeats. So again, this is the same from the kitchenette that we looked at the first floor. It's just ordered differently. Here's the coffee machine, here's the soda machine, here's the cups, and there's only one instead of two. So yeah, we'll just keep walking around and we're almost done. But yeah, so return to office wound up not being that big of a deal. I was really concerned because always had a very long commute. And yes, I realize people have much worse scenarios than that. But it was always a very long train commute. And the trains up here aren't exactly bullet trains like in Japan. So, um, but things actually were slightly better because I think to avoid overcrowding, they're skipping basically rather than every train going to every stop, they're doing like every other train is going to every other stop. So, like when the train picks me up, there used to be two stops after me, and then we got into the city. Both those stops are removed now. So, my train trip is actually substantially shorter. And so I'm very happy, very grateful that that's the case. Um, so yes, it's actually not that bad. My commute's only about 30 minutes now, and certainly, like I said, there are people who have things way, way worse than that. So here I was, getting a little bit stressed about what return to work was going to be like, and it was better than when I left it because the trip is shorter. It's not as crowded now. And the rest of it's like riding a bike. I've been commuting, as I said, for about a decade. So even though 2 years have passed, your body and your mind doesn't forget those 10 years and you kind of get right back into it. At least I did. I shouldn't presume. It's not fair to extrapolate that everyone else would have the same experience, but it turned out that my stressing out was uncalled for, that everything worked out just fine. Okay, so that is North Technologies, and that was me rambling about returning to office. So I hope that you found this informative. If this was something that you weren't aware of, and maybe it's something that you might consider. Again, it is, let's go to the package manager. It's North Technologies by Dexsoft Games. It's about 400 megabytes. Again, like I said, mid to late January it came out originally, and I don't think I have anything else by them. So I haven't had any experience, but it looks pretty solid. And if you're going to use this, I would recommend that if you're going to use the pre-existing 3D environment, I would recommend that you make at least some changes. Get rid of the North Technologies. Actually, I said I was going to do that, didn't I? Get rid of the logo wherever it is, replace it with your own. Simply click on this. You can see ML logo. So um, that's what you'd want to do. You'd want to replace those logos wherever they are. I don't know if it's the same logo everywhere or if it's several different ones. So that's our MI logo, transparent, and then that looks like it is, yeah, it's a different logo. So it looks like you're going to have multiple logos that you would need to clean up. And the other thing is you're probably going to want to add office equipment to this from other packages. Like for instance, I didn't notice any printers. Any um, I didn't notice any fax machines, although I don't know if anyone is even really using those anymore. I also don't think I saw any phones sitting anywhere. So you got lots of computers, but I didn't notice any phones. So that would be something to consider. It's certainly your choice what you do, but you'd probably want to bring in some additional office supplies. And also, if someone else uses this package, because when you buy it, it's not exclusive, it's non-exclusive. Other people can buy it too. You don't want your environment to look like just like someone else's. You're going to want to make substantial changes. So I'd say think of this more as a template rather than the final environment. You can use it to do your testing and your proof of concept. But again, if nothing else for originality, you'd probably want to make some changes. Okay, so I think that's about this. That's about it. So I hope this helps you if you're making a decision about looking for assets. And please do enjoy the rest of your day.